All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we've got some green jewelry Bonney action lined up for you. That's right. I have now made my way through all of the OP12 leaders ever since they updated the sim, and we're almost done with all the new starter decks as well. We got jewelry Bonney today, and then we saved the best for last. That's right, we got blue buggy. That's the only one left, and that should be tomorrow's video. Okay, so let's get right into this. I got a pretty fun build to show you guys today for jewelry Bonney. We're gonna have some. I think we're gonna have some fun with that today. So let me go and lay out the video real quick for you. First things first, we're going to check out the deck list. After that, we've got like 7 or 8 games to go over on the sim today, and I'll explain that more as we get into it. So we got some games to go over on the sim, and then finally we'll recap, and I'll tell you guys what I think of the of this leader and of some of the new support it got and all that good stuff moving forward. Okay, all right. I will have everything timestamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and stuff like that in the comment section below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link will be in the channel description. Today's video is brought to you by Nin Garden, and their summer kickoff sale is live. They're offering 10 to 40% off site-wide across the entire store. For a limited time, get a free playmat tube with every Sun God playmat purchase while supplies last. Also, don't forget to use my code, the VV Theory, at the checkout for an extra 10% off. All right, what's up, guys? I got a quick announcement before we launch into today's video. July 1st, on the VV Theory Discord, we're going to be hosting a Rainbow Luffy tournament. Okay? All the details are on the Discord. Be sure to hop on and check it out for yourself if you're interested. Once you hop into the Discord, link is in the channel description. You will land right here in the landing zone, and that's where we say hey to everybody who comes in. We try to wave at everyone who comes in, but notice all the way down the list down here where it says tournaments, you'll be able to bring down this drop down here and go to the frequently asked questions. And here it is. This is the FAQ for it, kind of explaining more about it. And if you have any extra questions, of course, don't be afraid to ask. Okay, but just some quick details on it. It will be July 1st, okay? And its registration is going to start at 8 p.m. Eastern, okay? And it will end by 8:45, of the same day. You register the same day and you play that same day, okay? And it's going to be a Rainbow Luffy tournament. So what does that mean? It's not like a sealed tournament or a limited tournament. Excuse me, in fact, it's the total opposite, right? You're going to be building a deck using any cards in the game up to OP11. Notice it says right here, every set up to OP11 is legal. OP12 will not be legal in the tournament. But you're going to play up to all the way up to OP11. It will be on the sim, okay? And you're going to have access to all the cards in the game. And imagine what that means. Rainbow Luffy, right, guys? Rainbow Luffy, that means you can run any card in the deck. It is a 6-color leader, and it has all names and types. So imagine a deck that has Cavendish, that also has access to 10 cost Lin Lin, that might have access to fill in the blank of whatever cards would normally just be restricted to a single type or color. Okay, so really cool stuff there. If you're interested and you want more details on that, be sure to stop by the Discord and ask away in there. Really looking forward to it. One more thing I want to say about it is notice the timing. It's on July 1st, which is a Tuesday, and the sign-ups start at 8 p.m. Eastern, okay? I stream at 9 p.m. Eastern every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So we will be streaming this tournament, okay? So again, if anyone's interested in that, be sure to stop by the Discord and ask about it and hop down to the FAQ and kind of get some ideas on what it's all about. All right, let's go ahead and break down the deck list. Starting off with the leader first. Bonney is a 5,000 power, 5 life, mono green leader with the Supernova and Bonney Pirates type. The effect is when an opponent attacks once per turn, you can pay 1 and then rest up to one of your opponent's leader or characters. Very, very powerful leader effect there. Okay, we're going to run through the list. If you're a new player, be sure to pause and read the cards as I go over them because we're not going to go over some of the older cards, okay? So we're running 4 Tashigi. This is a very interesting looking list here, right? Very different. We're running 4 Tashigi, running 4 Urouge, 4 Basil Hawkins, 4 Jory Bonney, 4 Carrot, 4 X-Drake, 4 of the 7-cost Jory Bonney. This is from EB02. 4 Hody Jones, 2 Zoro, 3 Shanks, 4 Doflamingo, 3 Lawn Beppo, 2 of the 0-cost events, and then 4 of the 2-cost Searcher events from EB02. Now, you might notice a certain card that's missing from this list. A card that, and by the way, this is a OP11 list. There's no OP12 cards in here. That's not legal yet in the West. This is just OP11, right? And before. So there is a card that's missing from here. That's right, Cavendish. Where is Cavendish, guys? What's going on here? Well, I'm going to be honest. With this version of the list we have here, I'm going to explain how it functions in just a minute. I'm really just trying to curve out naturally, going second. Very similar to how we had the Shanks video. For those who watched that, I put that out yesterday at the time you're recording this video. I put out a Shanks video with the same exact idea, where it's like, okay, we're actually just going to go on this even curve and just try to race our opponent to game, right? We're just going to try to race our opponent to the end game, and then we're going to go from there, okay? So with Jewelry Bonney here, with this version, here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to go turn one Searcher, and going second, we're going to talk about the going second curve first, okay? So going second, turn one, play out the Searcher. It's called We Are, and we're going to do a top 4 search of almost anything in the deck. There's only 2 cards that it cannot hit in the deck other than itself, obviously, and that's the 0 cost event and this 3 cost TCG. Everything else you can search up with this event, okay? That's turn 1. Turn 2, play out Rouge. So now you're standing up Dawn at the end of the turn. Turn 3, I don't have like a great 6-drop in the deck, but it's still good to play out something like Jewelry Bonney or play out this Carrot, locking down the board or locking down Dawn, and then being able to swing for 6 with your leader, and maybe even swinging 5 with Rouge, depending on who you're playing against, right? So there's turn 3. Turn 4, going into your 8 Dawn turn, you have 2 really, really powerful options in the 7-cost Jewelry Bonney. Pause and read this if you don't know what it does. And then Hody Jones. Again, definitely pause and read this one if you don't know what this one does. This card, I play this card out on curve whenever I can. I don't mind losing the 1 life here by using this card early on, because it establishes a 7-cost, 8,000 power body for my opponent to deal with. That's a lot to deal with. And then on top of that, it actually helps refill our hand a little bit, because our leader effect is so defensive. We're able to just tap down our opponent's characters and go from there, right? Like, you know, the characters or leaders. Whenever, if they swing in with 1, we can tap down the other every single time. So we're really only going to take 1 hit per turn. So, and sometimes with this version of the list, we might not even want to take life aggressively. You might actually want to counter out a little bit early to keep your life total high, so you can just slam down Hody Jones as quickly as possible. Because there's another card that's missing from this list that's in your average Bonney list. 8 cost Eustace Kid. That's right. Where's Cavendish? Where's 8 cost Eustace Kid? Well, we're just not going to run them. We're going to have fun today running a list that just is meant to curve out and go from there. Okay, so that's your 4 Dawn, or excuse me, your turn 4, your 8 Dawn turn. You get to play out Hody Jones, leaving a Dawn active for your leader, and the same idea is true of all of these turns, by the way. If you're going second, you can always just play out this odd curve here of 5, 7, you know, any of these 5, 7s, and even this 9 cost card here, these 9 cost cards, and you still have 1 Dawn active for the turn to use with your leader effect, right? So again, that's our 8 Dawn turn with Hody Jones, and then going into our 10 Dawn turn, it's anything else. And we have a lot of options for our 10 Dawn turn. Now, going first is not much different. Excuse me, going first is not much different. Turn 1, we're just going to pass. We just don't have any 1 cost or 2 cost characters in the deck. Well, I guess we have a 2 cost event, right? So going first, we just turn 1, pass. Turn 2 on our 3 Dawn turn, it's not the worst idea to set up something like a TCG for future turns to protect your board, or you can just do a search with We Are. And then going into your 5 Dawn turn, now you have a ton of options. Everything from this new 2K counter X-Drake, all the way through the, you know, the Carrot, Jewelry Bonney, this new 2K counter Basil Hawkins as well. All of these are helping you stand Dawn at the end of your turn, just like Rouge does, right? And that's another option on a 5 Dawn turn if you don't have the Jewelry Bonney or the Carrot. And these are, of course, the main targets to go for is Carrot or Jewelry Bonney. Okay, so that's your 5 Dawn turn. Now your 7 Dawn turn does not change. We have Jewelry Bonney still and Hody Jones, going to the 9 Dawn Zoro and Shanks, and going into 10 Dawn, whatever you want. Okay, now none of these numbers are set in stone yet. Notice how everything's pretty much a 4 of. I'm still doing some testing here. I really just wanted to get some games in with Jewelry Bonney with some of the new cards, like this new X-Drake from ST24, this new 2K counter from ST24, and this new Lawn Beppo from ST24. I'll even bring that up at the bottom here, because we do have to talk about 2 other cards that I don't have in here that are very good as well. So I was just trying to put something together real quick that curved out, used the new EB02 event and some of the new cards from the new starter deck, and just goes from there. This late game package here, Doflamingo still seems like the star of the show for Bonney in my personal experience. Law Beppo is solid as well, but for me personally, it has really been about Doflamingo, and I think you'll see that in some of the games we're going to look at. Shanks is also very, very solid. Okay, Shanks is a very strong addition to Bonney ever since that came out in ST16. Zoro's very good as well. This card, especially in this version of the deck, remember guys, we can actually search it up with this event, right? We can search up any 4-cost card or higher with this event. So we can search up all of our top end. We can search up every single card. I know I mentioned this earlier already, but I want to mention it one more time. We can search up every single card in this deck with the exception of 10 cards. The 4 of the event, right? 2 of the 0-cost event and 4 of the 2K counter Tashigi. It would be nice if we could hit this card too, but you know, it is what it is. Okay. As far as the 2K counter package goes, we're running 4 Tashigi, we're running 4 Basil Hawkins, and 4 X-Drakes. We have 12 2K counters. We have 2 0-cost events because we are running a decent amount of bricks here. Everything on the top row is not a brick, but everything on the bottom row is, right? So everything on the top row is not a brick, everything on the bottom is. So 4 Hody Jones, 4 Doflamingo, 2 Zoro, that's 10 right there. Plus 6 right here, so 3 of the Shanks and 3 of Law Beppo, that puts us at 16, plus 4 Searcher events, that puts us at 20. So we do have 20 bricks in the deck, but think about it, these We Are events are not meant to be bricks at all. Even if you hit one from life, you can actually, you know, trigger activate this card's main effect. So we can even search up some 1K counters or even maybe some 2K counters like with Basil Hawkins and X-Drake. So this is not even the worst card to hit as your last life because you could potentially search for a 2K counter or hopefully at least a 1K counter. But all of these cards right here, these 16 in particular, are definitely just straight up bricks. Okay, so we are running 2 of the 0-cost event to help mitigate that. And I could see like going, you know, minus 1 or 2 of these top-end cards here. Probably not the Hody Jones. I think it's just too good right now against all the purple in the format. But the Zoro, I'm not sure if this card was necessary or not. Well, you know, tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. And of course, we will see it in action in the games as well. Okay, all right. So I think that's it, guys. That's it for the deck list. Let's go ahead. Oh, excuse me. I almost forgot. There's 2 more cards we have to go over here. And it's the 2 other cards from ST24 that we did not get to see. So we have Basil Hawkins in the deck. It's a 4-cost, 4,000 power 2K counter. It literally is just the Uruj effect, but it's a 2K counter without blocker. Okay? Solid, you know, this is a solid card in the deck. This card's completely fine. And then X-Drake, this is another card we're running in the deck, a 5-cost, 5,000 power 2K counter with on play. If your leader has the Supernova type, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less, then set up to one of your Dawn cards as active at the end of this turn. Okay, those are great additions to Bonney. We'll take those every time. And then last but not least, in the actual deck that we're running today, we are running the Law Beppo. This is from the starter deck. It's a 10-cost 11K on play. Rest up to one of your opponent's characters and that character will not become active in your opponent's next refresh phase. Okay, then if your opponent has 2 or more rested characters, your leader gains plus 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's end phase. Okay, until the end of your opponent's next end phase. This card is really solid. It's a 10-cost 11K. I think it works beautifully with Doflamingo, and I think if I were to make any immediate revisions, I'll try to mention this more at the end of the video. I probably will just go minus 2 of these Zoros and just go plus 1 Law Beppo and plus 1 0-cost event. Maybe even round out the package here, going 4 Hodys, 4 Shanks, 4 Dofi, 4 Law Beppo. I just think, you know, being able to go Law Beppo and then into a Doflamingo is a really, really strong interaction there, guys. And I kind of wish it had come up more in the games we're going to be looking at today. So yeah, there could be something there. So that's Law Beppo. Now, the 2 cards I'm not using from the new ST24 starter deck for Bonney is Beige. This is a 2-cost, 1,000 power, 1K counter blocker with on play. If you have 6 or more rested cards, draw 1 card and trash 1 card from your hand. This card is good, but again, it doesn't match our theme of what we're trying to do with this deck, as, you know, being able to search up anything that we can with our event with a few exceptions. You know, it doesn't really match what we're trying to do, playing out on curve and just establishing tempo in that way. Still a very good card, though. It's not like this is a bad card, and for the more standard way to play Jori Bonney, you know, with the Eustace Kids and the Cavendish and things like that, this card's perfect in there. And in Green-Yellow Trafalgar Law, this is probably also a very good card in there. Okay, and then last but not least, we have Kid and Killer. This is the new Searcher event, the new Searcher character from ST24. It is a 2-cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter character with on play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Supernova type card and add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Very powerful Searcher character here, and then has on your opponent's attack, you may trash this character, set up to one of your Dawn cards as active. So that goes perfectly with our Leader's effect with Bonney, but at the same time, again, we're not really, I mean, there is some logic to make things fully Supernova now and just take your chances with your late game stuff, because you can still search up Law and Beppo with a card like this, because it's Supernova, but, excuse me, but honestly, guys, that's trying to take the deck into the more standard direction. We were trying something a little bit different for today, trying to search up our top end like Hody Jones, Zoro, Shanks, and Doflamingo. Having all this Supernova in the deck is kind of more of a, you know, it just so happened to be that way. Okay, all right, so that's it for all the new cards. That's it for the deck list. Let's go ahead and check this deck out. Let's see it in action. Okay, first game up we have against Purple Black Luffy. The volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. We got some pretty cool games lined up for today, guys. We got Purple Black Luffy, Blue Yellow Nami, Blackbeard, and some other good stuff too. We got some Blue Purple Luffys and stuff like that as well. So here we go. So they're going to start, we're going to go turn 1 pass. Okay, pause. So do we prefer going first or second? I would say with this version of the deck, we want to go second pretty much every single time. Because, you know, the odd curve that we have is already pretty decent enough, you know, especially in the early to mid game, being able to play out either Searcher on turn 2. You know, going second, we'll have nothing turn 1. But turn 2, we will have the Searcher or establishing the TCG, and then going into the 5-cost stuff and the 7-cost stuff, even into the 9-cost Shanks or 9-cost Zoro. Our odd curve is completely fine, but I still think we would prefer going second, because then we get to do everything I just said. We even get to do a Searcher on turn 1 going second and then going out with our curve. But then, you know, last but not least, with the odd stuff there, we get to have 1 Dawn left over for our leader or 1 Dawn left over to swing for 6 into our opponent's leader if it's a 6k leader. So going second is preferable with this version of the deck, I think. Okay, so we had to go first, though. We had no turn 1 play, of course. They went turn 1 playing out Trafalgar Law. We're on turn 2 here, and guys, we don't really have anything for turn 2. So we're just going to swing for 7, leave a Dawn as active. Okay, this person here, maybe they don't know the way that sequencing works against Bonney, or maybe they need to work that out, or maybe they just wanted to swing for 7. I don't know. But whatever the case is here, okay, and they didn't even swing for 7 is the interesting part here. So they swing for 5. We're going to take it. Now they're probably going to load 3 up on Law. Yep, and they're going to swing for 5. So we can just 2k out of that. We actually don't want to use the Bonney or the Urush for the 1k counter in hand, but we do want to get out of the attack. We're going to go 5 into 5 here. Just trying to get cards from their hand, and we're going to establish a Bonney. A carrot would have been the best possible situation there, but that's fine. It looks like they were going to remove it no matter what the case was. So they go ahead and play out the Gum Gum Lightning, getting rid of my Bonney. And they're going to swing in for 7. We're going to take it. Now they're swinging for 6. I do have another 2k counter. We actually had 2 more 2k counters. We're fine on that. And now we're on our 7 Dawn turn. We're going to go 5 into 5. Does he want to keep giving me cards? The answer is no. Okay, well, we're going to play down Hody, take a life card, and then swing for 8, and now they're down to 2 life as well. We have the better board right now technically, but they're on 9 Dawn. Guys, we know how these purple decks work, right? They ramp Dawn like crazy. Okay, they're going to swing for 5. We are going to respect that and get out of it because, you know, we need a little bit more time to set up here. We have 9 Dawn, so let's see. Pause. What's going on here? Why am I swinging for 5? Why would I do that, guys? Why would I only swing for 5 here? They can just block with Katakuri. I'm trying to trick my opponent, aren't I? What's going on here, guys? What am I trying to do? All right, we'll swing for 5. We'll do a face check for 5 here. We'll see what they want to do. They'll probably counter out of this one, and then they can block out with of the Hody Jones attack with the Katakuri, right? Watch this. Here we go. Okay, 1k counter. We'll swing for 8. Okay, now the Purple Black Luffy player's like, all right, I'll just block and 1k counter out. Thank you very much. Shanks, we'll get that card out of here. Your turn. And they're just going to go ahead and give up on that. I mean, I don't think the game was necessarily over right there. They did have the Rush Luffy in hand, but they're probably not going to be able to go for lethal because I have a 2k, 2k, and 1k in hand, right? So I can get out of a 9k attack, and I'm going to, you know, try to bait them into fully attacking, right? Because the idea is this. If they play out the Monkey D. Luffy, right? What they'll be able to do, that will be 6 of their Dawn. When they attack in the first time, they have to return 2 active Dawn. So that'll be an attack for 7k, and they'll have 3 Dawn left as active for the turn after their leader effect, right? So they'll be able to swing for 8/8. So I'm just going to bait him into fully tapping out and going in, and then, you know, go from there. That's at least the logic we were going to use there. Now, it depends how much Dawn they were leaving open, because notice how much they have 2 Gum Gum Giants in hand. They definitely left a little bit early there, but I think they were just a little bit overwhelmed, because on the crack, if they did try to go all in with that Monkey D. Luffy, like I was saying, on the next turn, and they would have failed, they probably would have lost the game, even with the double Gum Gum Giant, because they would have gone down from 2 life down to 1 life. And, you know, I have an 8k and an 11k on the board. But then again, we also don't even have to go to the next turn like that. You know, if they do knock us down a little bit, we can actually play out the Law and Beppo, locking down their attacks for the turn and going from there. We had quite a few options. Okay, good game to my opponent. Let's move on to the next one. All right, next up we have a game versus Blue Yellow Nami. Volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. Okay, not the best pull here. This is definitely not the best pull we could have asked for, but at least we are going second. They're going to play out Trafalgar Law. That card's not going to be very good against me, is it? Against Green Bonney. Yep, every time you attack now, I'm just going to rest down your characters. So they use Hiyori there to set up their, they changed out their life card. We're going to use our leader effect to tap down the Law when they attack with Nami, and we're going to 2k out of that. We're going to go 5 into 1. No way he saves that, right? It would take a 2k, 2k, 1k to get out of that. We play out Urouge, and now, again, every time they play something out, we're going to tap it. Okay, I don't know if that was the right call, playing out the Cavendish like that, but sure, we're going to take this 6k hit. You can draw a card from that. We're going to tap down the Cavendish with our leader effect, and now we're actually just going to get pretty aggressive here. I'm doing a little bit of math here. We want to play out the carrot and lock down this Cavendish, but hey, if he wants to just let it go, we'll let that happen as well, right? So we're going to 6 into 6 here. This will get 1 card from hand. Now we get to go 5 into the leader with our Urouge if we choose to. Looks like I'm just going to leave that card up. I don't want to risk losing my Urouge just yet, because my curve right now is very strong. So we hit the carrot there to lock down the Cavendish. They're going to play out Zeus to get rid of my carrot. You hate to see it. And we're just going to have to let that go. They got to draw 2 cards from that, 1 from life and 1 from their deck with their leader's effect. They're going to play out the Marshall D. Teach. Again, they keep playing these cards out before attacking, and guys, I'm going to punish them every single time. We're going to take that hit because they already used their leader effect. We're not afraid of them drawing cards. We're going to go 5 into 3. He lets it go. We're going to play out the new Jory Bonney. Okay, we're going to swing for 6 this time into 6. I'm trying to get him to give up this card. Okay, but I'm also trying to get cards from his hand realistically, because we follow up with the Bonney here, locking that down. He has not gotten to use that Cavendish at all. Not once, guys. So we're just going to keep it locked down. They hit us with the Gum Gum Giant here. That seems pretty good, but we have a lot bigger cards coming here. They're going to attack for 8 into 5. We're going to shut down the Zeus here. And I think we're actually going to save this Urouge, guys, because I want to be able to activate a Dawn this turn while playing out a 10-cost card. We're going to go 5 into 2 there. We're going to go 5 into 5. Okay, they use leader effect. We're going to use the Doflamingo here, locking down their board. Your turn. And this is where things get really scary for our opponent. Okay, they're going to use a Charlotte Linlin, and I am going to trash 2 cards from hand. I'm not going to give up a life card against this Bonney, because then they're going to get to draw a card from that with their leader effect, right? So we're not going to let them have a card here. Okay, so we trash 2 cards from hand. We don't need the Zora in this situation. I think we are still going to attack into the Cavendish, even though we're going to probably play out another Doflamingo this turn. That might have been, I feel like that was somewhat of a misplay here. I think okay, never mind. I try to bait my opponent into doing like a play here, because I have a feeling they're going to start slamming down these Eustace kids, and I want him to fully tap out so I can lock down his entire board this turn with this right here. So I lock down their other attack. I take the 7k. I'm down to 1 life. But let's see what they can do here. Now, I have a really nasty turn for my opponent, right? We're going to swing for 5. They're going to use their leader effect, of course. We're going to swing for 10. They get a Kikanojo. I think they may have set that up. I can't remember. But we're going to lock down their entire board. We have a blocker. We have a Dawn as active. They're going to play out Eustace Kid. And here we go. They're going to play out a blocker before attacking. Guys, I'm going to punish them every single time for that. We're going to 2k counter out of this. And this game's actually very close, right? So they're going to, what did they do there? Okay, they're using both of their Eustace Kids there to cycle cards out of their hand. And here we go. So we have to go all in here. I don't think we can survive another turn. I guess we technically could have tried to go for the board, but I'd rather just go all in here. We swing for 5. That gets the card out of hand. We swing for 10. We swing for 11. And then we're going in for 12. We probably should go for 7 and then, it would have been 13, excuse me, going in for 13. Good game to my opponent. I think, like, Technically, we should have actually swung for 7 with the Uruj there, but maybe not because that would have been 2 Dawn. Yeah, never mind. Not in that situation there. In fact, we shouldn't even attach a Dawn to the 1 cost, or the 3 cost Tashigi. We should have just swung for 5 with Uruj and gone about things like that, because then it would have been, you know, swing 10, 11, 14. But either way, we got there in the end. Good game to my opponent. That was a fun one. Okay, next up we got a game versus Blackbeard. Guys, please get used to... I think there might be a really big influx of new players coming into the game right now, but people were messing up their sequencing like crazy versus me when I was doing my play testing. People not attacking first, playing out cards from their hand, and then I just locked down whatever they just played, right? And I think in this game, it's going to be another example of that. Okay, they're going to play out Lafitte here. They're going to fix their hand. They have the stage down. They have Lafitte down. They're in a very good position here, but we're not really in a rush as Bonney ever, right? We're really never in a rush as Bonney. So they're going to swing for 5. We are going to take that pretty greedily here. And I think what we're going to do, so they're, oh, excuse me, it's still on their turn. They're going to trash a card with the leader's effect to lock down my on plays for the turn. But we're going to go 5 and a 1, and we're going to play out an Uruj. We're going to stand a Dawn up at the end of turn. Their turn. Okay? The nice thing about some of the effects in this deck, like the end of your turn effects, Teach can't really do anything about that, right? The end of your turn effects, we still get to pull off. Okay, unless they shut it down with like the 10 cost 12k or something. Okay, so they attack in here. And let's see what's going to happen next. Okay, they swing in. So they played out the Shiryu, and then they attack. So again, the sequencing is the problem. So we lock that card down, and here we go. Okay, we're going to swing for 5 here. We're just trying to poke cards out of their hand. We're just trying to, knock them down in health here. Yep, swing for 5. They take 1 hit. They counter out of the other. We're going to play out the carrot here. They didn't use their leader effect because their hand size was getting so low. So we locked down the Shiryu. Now they don't get to use their Shiryu. But their hand size, again, their hand size is very low. Okay, they did some type of effect there and lost the Shigan finger pistol. I think they were doing some searching with the event, and they lost a Shigan finger pistol there. That's unfortunate. They play out a character again. Okay, swing for 6. We lock down their Kuzan. Seems good to me. And now we have a really nice target to attack into. They're not going to have any cards left in their hand, guys. It's just that simple. Okay, 5 more into the Kuzan. You want to give me more cards? The answer is yes, they do. So now we're going to swing for 7, just in case they have a 2k counter. We'll swing for 7, locking down the Shiryu, and we still have 7 Dawn for the turn. If we had a Hody Jones here, it would have been unreal, right? That would have been really nice. We're going to play out the Jory Bonney and then go from there, okay? Okay, so we don't get to lock anything down, but we had already locked down the Shiryu for the turn, so that didn't really matter. We just developed a 7 cost 7k. They play out the Kuzan first again, and now they're going to swing for 9. Okay, well, I guess we'll just lock down the Kuzan and take the hit. I don't understand. They just don't learn, right? They're just not going to learn. They might need... Guys, make sure if you're a newer player, read what the leader does. Read what these leaders do. Right here, they did not use... they did not get rid of my carrot, so I'm going to lock down their Shiryu. We're swinging in for 7. And guys, now we're just going to play out the Doflamingo. Yeah, we're going to swing for 5 more. Why not? And we're just going to slam down a 10-cost Doflamingo here and just call it a day. I couldn't imagine them making it out of this game, right? Like seeing the current board state and seeing how they have so little cards in hand, no blockers. Okay, looks like they might have a trigger. Okay, maybe not. Just waiting for our opponent here. They did have a trigger. I think it was a Shigan finger pistol to get rid of my carrot. That's fine. Play out the 10-cost Dofi, locking down their board. We stand up a Dawn at the end of turn with our Uruj. Okay, their turn. They're going to play out Vasco Shot here. They are going to play out Vasco Shot, which is a blocker. And then watch this. They play out a rush character afterwards, guys. They're going to swing for 9 here. We're just going to tap down the blocker. The game's over. There's nothing they can do. Even if they try to swing into one of my characters, it just doesn't matter now. It just simply doesn't matter. Okay, here we go. They swing for 9. We're going to tap down the Vasco Shot. We take the hit, and they're just going to go ahead and concede. I don't blame them. That's a hard way to learn a lesson there, guys, right? Just over and over again, making the same mistake over and over again. Make sure to try to see what's going on. And again, this might have been a new player, right? This might have been a new player. But if there's cards on the field, you don't know what they do, make sure to read them and check them out so that way you know. Okay, good game to my opponent. That was against Blackbeard. Now we got a game versus Gecko Moria. Okay, randomly a Gecko Moria. And this might have, like this might have been the closest game of the day. It's hard to say. Or, well, I shouldn't say of the day. I got these games in yesterday, but this was a really, really close game here. Okay, they're going to start off by attacking in for 6. I'm going to take it. I don't have any 2K counters in my hand. I run 12 2K counters and 2 0-cost events. Where are they? I have no idea. They cheat out the Ryuma that can get double attack. But with my leader effect, I get to just go, okay, lock down one of the... You're only going to get one of these attacks off every time. Do you want to attack with your leader, or do you want to attack with the double attack? It's up to you. What would you guys do, by the way? What would y'all do? They're going to play out Sindri to fill up their trash. And now they're going to swing for 7, use leader effect, and then play out another Ryuma. Okay, well, I'm going to lock down the one that hasn't attacked yet. And okay, well, now we have another Ryuma on the field to deal with. That's frustrating. So, guys, pause. I had to make a decision here. I have to make a decision at this point in the game. I don't think I can compete. I actually think this guy's going to beat me, right? I mean, he has 2 double attackers on the board. I only have this 1 blocker. My leader can only lock down 1 attack per turn. So how am I supposed to deal with this? Right? So in this situation here, I've decided, you know what? We're going to race. You know, we're going to have ourselves a good old-fashioned foot race here to see who gets across the finish line first. And that's what we decided on. And notice what they have in the trash. That's interesting. That's a Kuzan in their trash, guys. That's very, very interesting. The card, this version, I have not seen this version of Gecko Moria run Kuzan and stuff like that. Very interesting. I'd love to see this list. Okay, well, I'm going to go for 5 now. We're going to swing 5. We're going to swing 6. We're going to play out the 5-cost carrot here. Any trigger? No trigger. Lock down one of the Ryumas. And now, again, they have to choose. Do they want to swing with double attack, or do they want to swing with their leader? Okay, there's a Tempest kick, so we're about to lose our carrot, is what it seems like, right? So that, but that means, unless they have a card in hand, okay, they're going to swing for 9. They're going to do exactly what we just said, Pulse. I was going to say, if they had an Absalom in hand, they could have done things a little bit differently, but maybe they didn't. So they attack in for 9 into my Uruj, and then they're going to play out an Absalom, KOing my carrot. However, they did a win attacking first. Before that on play can resolve, I get to use my Bonney's effect because that's a win opponent attacks effect. Okay, so they're in the same window. So then I rest down the Ryuma. Now he's going to return 2 cards from his trash to do the Absalom. Then the attack is going to resolve. I let it go, and here we go. We're in a tough spot. Faces the place. Nowhere else. Nowhere else, guys. We're going to play out the Bonney here, keeping one of the Ryumas locked down. And again, every time, they're only going to get to choose one. Do you want to swing with your leader to get that effect off, or do you want to swing with your double attacker? That's what we just keep doing that with this version of the deck. Oh, man. Rebecca into Hina. What are we playing against, guys? What is this? What is this? Sorcery. Okay, they're going to attack in for 7. We're going to lock down the Ryuma, of course. They get back the Absalom. The same exact trick there. Okay, and now they're going to get rid of my Bonney. And here we go. Okay, we're on 10 Dawn. This would have been a nice turn to play out the what's his name? The 10-cost Lawn Beppo. This would have been a great turn for Lawn Beppo. Okay, so we're going to swing for 6 here. We're going to play out the carrot, locking down one of his guys, playing out an Uruj, standing a Dawn in a turn. Your turn. Okay, let's see if we can make even a single character stick. Let's see if we can make even just a single character stick, guys. They're going to use This Is My Age. This is my era in Gecko Moria. Love to see these crazy style decks here. Okay, they're going to swing in for 6 using their leader effect. What are they going to pull out this time? Do they have a way to get rid of my card? No, they're going to play a Ryuma. Okay, well, I'm going to have to get out of this. And then we're probably going to take one of these and counter out of the other one. Yeah, we'll counter out of this one. They'll swing in for 5 here. Honestly, I think I probably should counter out of this because there is a world where like maybe if I top deck a Doflamingo, I could go one more turn, right? So they play out, so pause. Hey guys, what are y'all doing in this situation? So given the board state, given our hand, and given, you know, the hand size of our opponent and their life, I think we only got one option. What do y'all think? Guys, I think we only got one option here. What do you think? All right, here we go. If I had top decked a Hody Jones, things would have been very, very different here. We're going to play out the Hody, or excuse me, if I had top decked a Doflamingo, the 10-cost Doflamingo, things would have been very different. But we have a Hody Jones and a Dream, right? So we're going to swing 6, we're going to swing 6, we're going to swing 7, we're going to swing 8. Only 3 attacks have to go through out of 4. We're hoping for the best. Here we go. Here we go, guys. It's going to be, okay, at this point, we're going to swing 7, swing 8. Maybe we should have done 6 and then 9. 6 and then 9 might have been a little bit better, but it might not have been a difference since there was no more cards to get. Good game to my opponent. Look at that. They had exactly 8K in hand after that. So they could not quite get out of the 8K attack. Good game to my opponent. That was a close one. Good game. Okay, now, we got to shift gears a little bit here. We've got 3 blue-purple Luffy matchups in a row. Because I was searching for blue-purple Luffy matchups. And they're not my favorite. I'm not most proud of these wins here, guys, and we're going to talk about that as we go through them. But man, it was a crazy day yesterday on the sim when I was recording these games. It was a crazy day. So here we go. Volume is off. Let me get the speed on 2x. It's on 2x. Here we go. We mulligan our first hand. We are going first. I think we would rather go second, but that's okay. We're going to swing in for 8 here, and he'll probably I would probably take this if I was blue purple Luffy, but I think they might use a gear 2 here. Yeah, they're going to gear 2 to get out of this. That means they must have plenty of ramp in their hand. Seems good. They play out Zoro Juro, knowing that I have pretty much no way to lock that down. Because if, don't get me wrong, I know I didn't leave a Dawn active, but what they could have done there is just attacked first and then played out the Zoro Juro. So they were never at jeopardy of my leader attack or my leader effect locking them down. So we're going to swing for 6 here and develop a blocker Uruj and get a Dawn back at the end of our turn so we can shut down 1 attack here. Okay, here we go. So they have to attack with Zoro Juro first if they want to get the Dawn ramp. But they're on 6 Dawn, so it's going to be interesting here how they choose to do this. Okay, they have a God Thread. I was going to say if they have some type of removal like God Thread, they can do things in a pretty good way here. I think they should just load up for 5 here, or I was even going to say 6, swing in for 5 here. Okay, and I think we probably need to respect this attack, unfortunately. That's right, guys, we need to respect this, unfortunately, because we have to set it for future turns. Okay, we're going to go 5 and a 4. Saving this doesn't make a lot of sense to me because they're already going to be on 10 Dawn next turn. Looks like we have the Searcher event here. We're actually going to use that, and we're going to develop a Tashigi because my only chance, guys, like in my mind, what I'm thinking in this situation here is I probably need to slam down a Zoro next turn and then just go for lethal or go for the board, or depending on how things line up. So, and then, because we'll be able to develop a Zoro, and then we'll be able to, like, play out a Hody Jones, tapping down Dawn, and go from there and go for, 4 attacks. An 8K and then 3 9s. So that's kind of my game plan. I'm planning that far in the future here. I'm like, okay, play Tashigi, and then it's going to be 9-cost Zoro, and then it's going to be 7-cost Hody. That's basically my best option. So they're going to play out something very aggressive here. This was a very weird version. They're running the God Threads and the 8-cost Zoro. I mean, excuse me, the 8-cost Luffy. I did not expect this. And this caught me off guard big time. Pushing back the Tashigi to my hand, I locked down one of the attacks there, of course, or one of the characters. And here we go. So right here, we're on a 9 Dawn turn. This is terrible for me, right? What would you guys do in this situation, Pauls? I'm going to be honest, in this situation, I slammed down the Zoro, okay? I don't know. Okay, if I was on a 10 Dawn turn and if I had Doflamingo in my hand, this would have been very different. But this is a 9 Dawn turn. This is a very awkward turn. What would you do in this situation? I like developing the Shanks and then maybe going for lethal next turn, but then it won't be nearly as good without having the Zoro on the board. So I pretty much just chanced at this point, guys. Watch this. It's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to slam down Zoro here, and I have 3 life. Watch this, though. Something very interesting happens. I'm going to see if you guys pick up on it here. Okay? Did you guys see what just happened? It happened very quickly. Let's rewind. See if you guys pick up on it. Okay, you ready? I'm gonna hit play. Whoop, gotta hit play here. I'm gonna play out the card. I'm gonna pass my turn. All their Dawn untapped. What does that mean? Does anyone understand what that actually means? All of their Dawn just untapped. So that means they did not use their leader effect. Now watch what happens. Okay. By the way, I mean, I don't know the wording off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure Blue-Purple Luffy's leader effect is optional. Okay, it is an optional effect, okay? And right now, I'm like, what is taking them so long? And then I didn't pick up on it first either, and then I looked at their board, and I'm like, wait a minute. They haven't used their leader effect yet, and all of their Dawn is active. So they're about to just straight up leave the game. They just decided, you know what? I'm leaving. I'm not saying that was the right call, because they very well could have... They were still in this game, right? Because they attacked through with everything. I would 2K counter out of the Luffy attack, of course, and then they would slam down the 9-cost Lin. They would gain a life going up to 3 life, and then they have all these attacks. I'd be down to 1 life. They can't even bounce anything to my life. I'd be down to 1. Now, the one saving grace, though, in this situation here is look at what my top card is. So, again, let's do a thought exercise here and say they don't leave. Say they just, like, and again, they did miss their leader effect. That's on them because, I mean, it does work in the sim. I think they just clicked to not do it because it's an option you have to do every single turn once you reach, well, when you're at 8 Dawn or more before you untap, right? So they just untapped and then passed right over their chance to use the leader effect. So let's just say we're in the situation we are, though. they have 9-lin, right? They have a 9-lin. So what they'll be able to do is play that out, right? They'll play out the 9-lin, they'll gain a life and go to 3 life, and then they'll swing in for 6, probably 6, 9, and 9. And I'm going to take everything with the 6k. I have a 2k counter in my hand with that X-Drake. I'm going to get out of that, and then I'll be down to 1 life, and my next turn is a Doflamingo. So we will be able to lock down their entire board after attacking in a little bit, but, I mean, we're not exactly in a good spot, because now we can't even go for lethal, right? Unless, let me think about it, there is a chance we maybe try to go for lethal with our leader, and since they only have 1 Dawn active and we only have to get 3 attacks through and we have 4 attacks, maybe what we do instead is we don't even play out the Hody Jones. Maybe instead we actually go, okay, swing for 8. Just swing for 8 with our Bonney, so that's 3 Dawn, and then we'll have 3 Dawn for Zoro's effect, so 4 Dawn left. We'll attach 4 Dawn onto the 9k, so we'll swing for 13 3 times after that. So it'll be a swing 8 and then 13 3 times. That's pretty much our best bet. Or maybe, okay, hang on, let me walk that back one more time. Maybe we swing for 7 with Jory Bonney, so that way it gets a 2k counter out of hand, and then we load all the rest on the Dawn on Zoro except 3 Dawn, so that should be 5 Dawn. So now we're swinging for 14 3 times. That was probably our best case scenario, and if we did that, we might actually win. It really depends on what they get from this Gum Gum Giant in their life. Okay, but either way, that was, of course, an unfortunate situation there, but you know, that was on my opponent. There was nothing more we could do about that. So, okay, so that wasn't the greatest Blue-Purple Luffy game, right? All right, so now let's go on to the next one. I tried to find another Blue-Purple Luffy game. I was trying to find a Blue-Purple Luffy game for today's video, guys, and it was rough. Watch this one. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. This game does not have a much better ending. Watch this one. Okay, turn 1. We're going second this time. We get to go turn 1 Searcher. And then they're going to swing in for 9. We're going to take that. We get to go turn 2 Uruj. This is a really nice start for us so far. They always have God Thread now. They always have that. They're going to swing in for 7. We're just going to take it. We could have 0 cost 3k. That was a little bit greedy, but that's okay. We're going to swing for 6, 1k counter, play out this carrot. And I think I should have used the Bonney there to lock down their Dawn, but they used a God Thread anyway to get rid of it. Okay. So they're going to swing in for 6. They're at 9 Dawn now. They hit me with a pudding. That was less than ideal. Oh, well, it happens. So here we are. We're going to swing in for 6 here. They 1k counter out. We're going to play out a Bonney. Now they don't get a 10 Dawn turn. And here we go. This new version of Luffy, though, doesn't really care every single time if it has the Dawn or not, right? Because they could just play out the, they can just simply play out Doflamingo here, the 8-cost Dofi, to, you know, to flood out the board. So they're going to swing for 6 into 5. We're going to 2k. They get the Sanji into Dofi, Dawn -1 into Rosinante. They're going to get to stand up 2 Dawn at the end of the turn after drawing 2 cards. And yeah, this is really not good. We're going to go 5 into 4 because I'm going to have to use a 10 Dawn turn right here. We're going to swing for, okay, 5 to 4, now 6 to 4. They're going to use the effect there. I was going to say, are they really going to try to save this card? I don't know why they would. It doesn't make sense to me why they would do something like that. All right, here we go. What are they going to do? We're in a very tough situation here. It looks like they're going to start off by going 9 into face. We're going to lock down their Doflamingo here, and we are going to take that. And we can get out of this. Okay, they're going to go 10-11 here, it looks like, or 10-12. Looks like they're going to go 10-12. We're going to take that. And hang on, pause. If they had gone for 12, did we just misdo the calculation there a little bit? Hang on. We were banking on them to tap all out there, and then we would have just lost, right? But we had a feeling they weren't going to go all in. It was going to be swing 10, swing 11, because otherwise it would have been swing 11, swing 12, right? That would have made more sense. So I had a feeling they were going to swing 10, swing 11. But if they would have added that 1 extra Dawn, we were losing the game right there on the spot. But okay, if you're going to swing for 11, sure, I don't mind getting out of that. We'll go 0 cost 3k, 2k, 2k, straight to 12. Okay, and here we go. Well, we don't really have much we can do in this situation, right? Well, we can bank on our opponent just making a blunder, right? So we're going to swing 8 into 6 to start this off. Okay, what just happened? Guys, so what just happened there? We swing 8 into 6. Watch what they do. They decide to use their Doflamingo's effect. What does that effect do? Guys, who knows what the Doflamingo effect does? It rests a Dawn, an active Dawn, and then it brings a Dawn from your Dawn deck and puts it into the cost area as active. They don't have any cards in the Dawn deck. So they just made a massive blunder, and it was my only chance of really winning this game. Like, I mean, we could have technically still maybe won even without that blunder, but the chances become very, very slim at that point. And, okay, he gets a, what was that? Some type of, oh, they get a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. They bottom deck my card, but it already attacks, so it doesn't really matter. And I think I hit him with a question mark, LOL. You know, what just happened? And he goes, I don't know. And we talked about it after the game. He seemed like a really cool guy. Well, we're going 12 into 6 now 3 times. Yep, 12 into 6. Okay, there's another event they just tried to use to stand an active Dawn. But again, it has to get a Dawn from the Dawn deck and put it as active. They had double Gum Gum Giant in hand and a Gear 2. Now, their top card wasn't Uso Hachi, so they really could have only maybe gotten out of one of those attacks. They did counter out of, you know, one. They were able to counter out of the Bonney attack, I believe. Whatever the case is, it's always unfortunate when people make mistakes, but that's the best way to learn, you know, when you're trying to learn a new deck is, you know, by getting these mistakes out of the way. Good game to my opponent. Again, just to recap, what happened? Guys, how did that just happen? They used their Doflamingo to ramp a Dawn back as active. They had no Dawn left to ramp as active. So they just lost their Dawn for the turn, and we were able to attack through. And I thought, okay, everyone's going to roast me for this one in the comment section. Let's try one more game of Blue Purple Luffy, guys. Let's try one more game, I said. Okay? Volume's off. Speed is on 2x. Here we go. And I said, you know what? If this one works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And oh well. 3 games of Blue Purple Luffy. You know, you can't. It is what it is. So right here, so we're going to get to go second again, but we have no turn 1 Searcher. They're going to go first. They're going to go turn 1, nothing, turn 2 attack and play out Gear 2. We play out Urouge. We have 1 Dawn as active. They're on a 6 Dawn turn. Swing for 6. We're going to 2k counter out of that. No God Thread. No God Thread is crazy, guys. I'm not going to lie. All right, here we go. So now we're on an interesting turn. We're only on a 6 Dawn turn, so we couldn't actually use the 7 cost Jewelry Bonney on curve, and we did not find any 4 cost card, unfortunately. Oh well, we'll just get super aggressive here. I think we're just going to smash in for 9, try to knock him down to 2 life. Now we get to see Dawn back as active at the end of our turn with Urouge. They're going to swing for 4. We're going to rest down the blocker. And they play out Sanji and just leave. They whiffed it, of course. I don't know what they were. I think they meant to play out the 9 cost Mihawk. I said, okay, I'm done. There's no more Blue Purple Luffy for today, okay? No more Blue Purple Luffy for today. Either way, good game to my opponent. I think they meant to play out the Mihawk, and then they were going to bottom deck the Urouge and go from there, which would have been an incredible play. But here we are, right? Here we are. Now, our next turn would not have been that bad because I think we're going to be on 6. We're going up to 8 Dawn. Well, I guess all we could really do is lock down the Zorojuro with our Bonney, swing for 6 at lead, and go from there. But either way, that's enough of that. Good game to our opponent. We got one more game. We got one more game to go over. We got a game versus Green Purple Luffy. Okay, volume is off. Speed is on 2x. I think I might have recorded some of these games today. Guys, I lose track. I play so many games on the sim now, I lose track. All right, so here we go. We're gonna have to go first, which is unfortunate. We would prefer going second. They're going to go turn 1 Searcher. And then I think they do another turn 1 Searcher. Seems good. We're going to swing for 5. They're going to take this, I believe. And then we're going to go ahead and play out our Searcher event here. And we're going to grab a Lawn Beppo. Okay, so here we go. Now notice this, guys. We haven't got to play out Lawn Beppo even a single game yet. It just hasn't lined up. Okay, they're going to play out a Zorojuro. They're going... They play out the card first, and now they don't attack, right? So they were supposed to attack first and then play out the Zorojuro so I don't tap down their card. Okay, no problem. We'll just swing for 5, and now we're going to play out this this Bonney here, locking down your Dawn. You're only going to be on a 5 Dawn turn. Now, they could still play out the, you know, the 5 cost 7k Sanji and Pudding, okay, but maybe they don't have it yet. You love to see that, right? Okay, they just searched it up. They finally found it after the Nami search and after doing the draw one with Going Merry, the cycle there. And now they're playing out of Frankie, getting their Dawn back, I believe. Actually, I don't think they got their Dawn back. Because, yeah, they're at 6 and we're at 7. I think they just, you know, they didn't even use their leader effect. Okay, so they're not attacking. I guess they don't want me to rest down characters and stuff like that. It makes some sense, I guess. Actually, I don't think we had any Dawn open last turn. Did we even have... Hang on, guys. I'm sorry. We have to go back. Did we even have Dawn open last turn? Yeah, we didn't have any Dawn open. So they didn't swing 5, they didn't swing 6, but I guess they're trying to keep me from doing something like an Electrical Luna or playing out Carrots to lock down their board and stuff like that. So it does make some sense, but I think you should at least attack with the leader in that case. But who knows, maybe they also want to try to starve me a little bit. So we do a searcher there. I think we got the Shanks from that. And now we're going to be able to attack in. We don't really have a great play here. We're going to swing 7, getting him down to 1 life and play out the Basil Hawkins, which can let us stand Dawn as active. I like playing out the Basil Hawkins there, even though we lose a 2K counter in hand. Okay, now we get to rest down their leader. They're going to go 6 into 6. We're going to 2K counter out of that. What are they going to do next? They're going to play out Sanjin Pudding, getting 3, returning 2 Dawn, standing 2 Dawn is active, gaining a Dawn is active with Sanjin Pudding, and here we go. They play out the 6-cost Luffy, Rush Luffy. Okay. We don't like to see that. We don't like seeing that card on the board. We did aggressively counter out to save our Jory Bonney here, so that way we can start making some attacks into the board. We're going to go 6 into 6 here. We do have exactly 9 Dawn, and I think we're just going to get rid of the Luffy. We can't risk it. We're not going to risk that. We're not going to play that game with them, right? So here we go. They're going to swing 7 into 6 here. We're out of counter power. Now, we can use our leader effects. We're going to rest down the Zoro Juro. We just have to let the Bonney go. That's fine. They play out an Uso Hachi to rest down my Basil Hawkins. And now, are they going to try to get rid of that? That's a good play if they do. Yeah, we're going to have to lose that card there. That was really unfortunate. Now they're going to use their leader effect, get 3 Dawn back with the Sanjin Pudding and leader effect. They have 9 Dawn left after all that, guys. Oh, man, here we go. I mean, I say after all that. They just did a bunch of attacks and play out Uso Hachi. They're going to play out a stage to fix their hand a little bit. What are they going to do now, man? We have an 11K on the board. Okay, they're going to swing for 7. We're just going to take that. And look at our hand. Our hand is bricked as far as counter power goes, but our hand is absolutely stacked, guys. Our hand is massive. They play out double Tony Chopper here. So I'm going to go 5 into 4 and then 11 into 7. They're going to give me everything there, like both the blockers. Okay, 10 cost Doflamingo. I'm going to lock down everything. I was deciding if I wanted to keep the characters locked down or the leader in like 2 characters. And it's like, you know what? I don't really care about this Frankie at all. He's the smallest target on the field. We're just going to let him have the Frankie. He can have it. They're going to play out the Luffy here. It looks like they're going to probably try to get pretty aggressive here. What are they going to do? I mean, if they attack enemy and go down to 0 life, like if they use the effect of the Luffy, that's not going to go well for them, right? That is not going to go well for them because then I'm just going to win on the crackback. So, and I still have 4 life. It's not like I'm in jeopardy of losing. So I think the answer here is just to, do some chip damage, try to knock me down in life a little bit here. And I think, so right here, they have 4 Dawn left. And I'm just going to take this because I don't want to risk them getting rid of my Shanks because I only had a 2K counter in hand. If he had loaded up 4 and gone 11 into Shanks, I would have lost it. So we're going to go 5 into 4s. You want to save this? I seriously doubt it. Yep, now we can just kind of go for the board. Watch this, guys. We're not in any rush, are we? We're not in any rush. We're going to go 10 into 6. He has to counter out of that attack there, guys, or he goes down to 0 life and we just go 21 at him. And who knows, maybe he can get out of that too with Gum Gum Giant. You never know, but we're not going to take the chance. So now, okay, now we're not going to go for lethal anymore. We're going to go 11 into 7. He'll probably save this with a Gum Gum Giant, but that's fine. He can't save it with the Gum Gum Giant. Well, I've got terrible news for him. Lock down the Luffy. I'm a 7,000 power leader now with 3 life. No way, right? Even though our hand was not great, we only had a 2K and a 1K. Look at this, guys. The top card of our life is a 0 cost 3K, followed by a 1K, followed by another 1K. So once we lock that down, Law and Beppo locking that down, that's it, man. They could have done a search at least with their 1 cost event there. But I just don't know what that's not going to win it for them either, right? That's not going to win either because if they do that, if they find another Luffy, that will be so they use 1 Dawn for the searcher, then they'll play out the Luffy for 6, so that's 7 Dawn altogether. They'll return 2 Dawn with their leader effect to stand 2 Dawn as active, so I think they'll have 5 Dawn for the turn to work with. We're a 7,000 power leader with 3 life. So they'll have to attach 1 Dawn to Zoro. I 1K counter out of that. They attach another Dawn to their leader. I 2K counter out of that, right? I mean, there's just no way out of it, right? Oh, well. Okay, good game to my opponents. Those were some really fun ones. Guys, I tried to get a decent blue-purple Luffy game for us today, but, sometimes it just doesn't line up on the sim. You guys know how that goes. Right, here's the list. This is the list right here, guys. It was a lot of fun. I'm not saying that this version is better than the Supernova version, but I'll tell you what, if the format's going to remain very slow, if the format's going to slow down, I kind of like the idea of just going massive on the board, guys. Just, okay, well, let's just ignore the whole early game, and let's just make it to the late game. And when you're a 5 life leader that can stop 1 attack every turn, like making it where your opponent really only gets like 1 attack per turn, okay, sure, let's do that. We'll establish some blockers along the way. We got some good counter power in here that have really good utility. Our 2K counters have incredible utility, right? Tashigi can protect our board. Basil Hawkins stands up a Dawn in a turn. And then X-Drake, it stands a Dawn up at the end of turn as well, but it also locks down a 5 cost, right? It taps down a 5 cost character and helps us swing for lethal. Now, it is a 5 Dawn investment, but hey, if you have to go for lethal, you have to go for it, right? Then we also have Hody Jones in here, to get around all the purple decks that are keeping Dawn active for their Gum Gum Giants. The Zoro, like I said, technically it did win me one of those games against Blue Purple Luffy, but I don't think I would have won that game if they had left their if they had used their Dawn properly. But who knows? We got to give credit where it's due. It did technically win me that game for what it's worth. The Shanks was nice being able to just KO stuff, but even this card, I think this is probably just going to remain as like a 3 of. And I think moving forward, if I were to modify this list, I would go -2 of the Zoro, and I would go +1 Lon Beppo, and then I would go +1 of the 0 cost events, the 0 cost 3Ks. But yeah, that's about it. All right, I'm done, guys. Y'all tell me what y'all thought in the comments section below. I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say about this. This was a very fun deck. I recommend it. And guys, y'all noticed something? Since the Cavendish is gone, and since I just removed both 9-cost Zoros, this is a pretty budget list you're looking at here, guys. This is a pretty budget list. So for anyone who's been trying to play Bonney, or if you just bought the Bonney starter deck, if you're a newer player, it'll be very easy to get your hands on these cards, guys. I don't know the exact price of this deck off the top of my head. I'll try to post it in the comment section below. But I would imagine this is a pretty cheap list here, probably well under $100. We'll have to see, though. I don't know, because I know sometimes Hody Jones spikes up in price because of what's going on right now. These EV02 cards, you just never know with these, and the starter deck cards as well. I'll have to check and post it in the comment section below for those who are interested in this version right here, like without the Zoros and going up the 0 cost and the Lon Beppo. All right, that's it. I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me get the outro on here. Jewelry Bonney. That's a fun one there. That was a fun one. Guys, if you're supporting me in any way, shape, or form, whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing my stuff, using my TCG Player affiliate link, if you're donating through Patreon or PayPal, if you're a Playmat supporter, a YouTube member, a part of the Discord community, whatever you're doing, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. This community has been really incredible. All right, I'm done. Till next time, guys. Peace.